This is for prosthetists and orthotists who are utilizing traditional manufacturing methods today and are always looking to improve patient processes to be able to provide better devices and better outcomes and things of that nature. So last week I was sharing about the top 5 reasons to go digital in O&P. One of those reasons was reducing materials and consumables. Now today I want to show you how you can do that. And I want to quickly start by sharing with you my screen and sharing scanning direct limbs. So I'm hoping that this video is going to come through clearly, but you see that you can place your patients on a transparent plexiglass or even glass structure and enable that patient to apply load on that glass. And you will move around their entire foot and ankle and shin, 3D capturing their shape and anatomy. You do this from front to back. As the 3D scanner is actually scanning the patient's limb, the limb will turn white. And some AI smoothing just occurred right there. You saw how it was just a bit rough, but the AI picked up. It's smoothing there in real time too. Okay, next, and the scan is complete. Now, that is first and foremost how you will reduce your casting and molding materials. By direct limb scanning, there's no need to cast, there's no need to mold, because the scan is the shape capture, the cast, and the modifications that you'll do is what you would generally do on a mold. Now let me share with you the Spenty's workflow to help you understand what the modifications look like in the digital space. So give me 2 seconds. I'm going to transfer this meeting to my iPad, share my screen from there. And okay, perfect. And then we'll go here. So I've started a patient order. I've arrived to the scanning step. I'm going to import a scan of a mold, or excuse me, of a patient limb because I don't have someone here to scan with me. So I've imported that scan as if I used maybe the comb scanner or an Orthotics scanner. And now I need to modify this scan because you see it's quite messy. There are a lot of floating artifacts and we need a clean space to be able to modify on and design on top of. So we've taken what's essentially the scan being the cast, and now we're going to create a mold, modified mold. I'm going to place landmarks, and as you can see at the top of the screen in the red there, our guided workflow tells you what to do on each and every step. So I'm going to grab this plane and go right below the kneecap, and what this will do is remove all those floating artifacts. Now, I could be able to adjust the patient's position by placing just a few more landmarks. Let's go for the Achilles tendon. Okay. And then, okay. Now, the dark blue is going to be as you scanned the patient's limb, but then you can make modifications from this position to the light blue, or excuse me, the translucent, the clear will be your scanned position. But then let's just say you needed to adjust this patient's limb to get them into a more neutral position. Okay, so that's 5 degrees there. Any abduction, you can make those changes there. Pronation, supination. Okay. Perfect. So we've adjusted the patient's position. Now we need to do any buildups or localized offsets. So the medial malleoli, you can adjust the value here. So if you like to put 4 or 5 millimeters of offset on malleoli, you can do that just by taking your finger and drawing it on to that specific region. Getting real close if you need to. Very visual process here. So you can see that there, how I've just removed that material. I'm going to put it back on, show you. Okay. So now that we've made our buildups and corrections, we validate that. And once that's complete, you're going to get a quick preview of what the modified scan looks like before it is designed and modeled on top of. So a modified scan is most similar to a modified mold. If you don't have a good mold, if you don't have a good scan, you're not going to have a good device. Oh, I didn't click validate. I'm sitting here looking at it. I'm like, what's going on? I didn't click validate. So here is our modified scan. And that is how you're going to reduce consumables. Because when you have the ability to skip casting and molding for a large percentage of your patients. Now, it's not for every patient because some patients are very spastic, they're severely contracted, and 3D scanning those types of patients is quite challenging. So it's not for every patient, but for the patient that can sit still and apply pressure onto that plexiglass transparent device for weight-bearing devices. If they're not weight-bearing and it's a nighttime splint, they could sit and lay on their belly, putting their leg at a 90-degree angle, and you can walk around and scan them because it's not weight-bearing. And you're really just looking for the shape. But for weight-bearing, you're going to want that extra piece of hardware so they can apply load, and you can walk around and scan them. Then you see your quick modifications with the Spenties application. If you like this video, let me know, and I'll do more of them. But I think that you just got to see it. You got to see it. I share a lot of content of the value points and things like that, but you got to get your hands on it. If you'd like to get started with Spenties or you just want a trial, let me know. You can message me here on LinkedIn, and I would be happy to get you set up with a trial, especially if you have your own iPad and scanner. It's an app to download for free. You get started right now. But if you need hardware, then we could be able to provide that for you too. Have a wonderful day. It's Brian with the Y, not an I, but with the Y.